Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents a special presentation of Inside Pitch. Welcome to the Inside Pitch 1999 Season Review and Reveal Show. Well, guys, we did it again. We've completed another season of Inside Pitch. And although some people are thinking this is the final season that I'll do for Inside Pitch, but it's even though I'm going to be going to Inside Pitch Advanced. I mean, hopefully we do if he gets it ready before the next season starts. But we'll see how this goes. As we get ready for the next season. Good to have everybody here. I know I'm expecting a good crowd as usual for this. As tonight, we're just going to go ahead and review the 99 season, how well it went, and looking forward to, and of course, we will be rolling dice to see which season will be selected among the four that were voted. So, of course, you see right now, 1945, 1963, 1980, and 2020 are right now the seasons that are there, and we'll be going around. I'll be going through them. Of course, you see the dice here. But we'll see what happens tonight. So good to have everybody here. We're going to, of course, go over some of the games in the notebook as we'll take a look at the 1999 season. Congratulations once again to Steeler Fan as his Houston Astros win another championship on the network. I think it really is rigged because remember, Chris Davis, the creator of Inside Pitch, his favorite team is the Astros. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Rigged. Well, that's just the way it goes, I guess. So, we're going to take a look, of course, at how the season went, and we'll take a look, and we'll also choose our game of the year. So, what did you guys overall think of the 1999 season? I think it was a lot of fun to play. We got to see some players that we've not seen on the chat on the board before. Most seasons we've done we've done 260s. We've done 260s. We've done 370s, 72, 76, and 79, right? We've done a whole bunch of 80s, 81, 83, 85, 88. We've now done a 90s season. We've done the 1999 season, which is the first 90s season we've done. 1994 really doesn't come in. I'm not going to count because that was a restart. And we've done 2016. So we've done a lot of great seasons. Of course, there's still plenty of seasons yet to do for Inside Pitch, and of course, Steeler Fan, of course, now going over. I'm surprised you haven't. Copied last night's way I started with the Astros winning their title. So I'm surprised you haven't done that. Good to see everyone. Ben Witz, let's see here. Ben Witz, Philip Reynolds, Clee Baseball Fan, Steeler Fan, Doug Hunt, Ron McGrath, and good to see everybody here. So let's take a look and see. So, of course, FastScore gave us a good 1999 season, as that now goes by the board. Let's take a look at how the standings started, I guess, first. I usually like to see how you're working on it. I kind of figured you would be. So, let's take a look here and see how things went. I mean, first page, let's see here. First page of the season for 1999. In the American League East, the Boston Red Sox got out to a quick start. Yankees were right with them. Baltimore with them. Tampa Bay actually got out to a pretty fast start, too. The Chicago White Sox got out to a fast start on this first page in the first month of April. This is April here. 15-5. The White Sox were the best team overall early. Texas Rangers got out to a quick start. They were 16-7. Teams that got out kind of hard. Toronto got out to a slow start. Kansas City, Minnesota, Seattle. Houston was wire to wire. I believe the Astros were wire to wire, as a matter of fact. The Braves got out to a very fast start. They were 17-6. Mets were right behind the Braves. Mets just could not catch Atlanta no matter what they did. I knew the Mets were going to have to win the division to avoid that wild card game that they wound up playing and, of course, lost. So, so I'm not surprised that the Mets just couldn't catch the Braves. The Astros did lead wire to wire. They started out with a 17-5 record for pretty much 17-5 record for April. The Giants actually led the division that year, 16-8 in that first part. Arizona was pretty good. The Rockies were garbage, were 5-14. Moving on to May, the Yankees took over first place in the American League East. They were 35-16. Baltimore and Tampa Bay actually at one point was up there. They were 30-23. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays were at one point 30, and they were 7 games above 500. But I had a feeling this team would collapse, and they pretty much did. The White Sox still led the American League Central. The Cleveland Indians were caught up. They were catching up behind them. They stayed a few games back. Minnesota made a quick run, but they weren't going to catch. Detroit and Kansas City were not that good that year. Oakland suddenly caught up with the Rangers, and now they were only 1 game back of the American League West. Anaheim and Seattle, just not very good. Here in the month of May, the New York Mets actually caught up to 1 game back of the Braves. At one point, the Mets actually had first place in the National League East, but was such a not to beat. Braves had better pitching in this division. They were definitely the better team. Philadelphia tried to get back to 500. They actually pretty much did. Expos and Marlins were not good. The Astros got all the way up to 37-14. The Astros, I already figured out, even by May, I kind of figured the Astros were going to win the National League Central the way things were going. Pittsburgh actually got close. They got above 500. The Brewers were above 500 too. The Arizona Diamondbacks took over first place in the National League West. San Francisco followed behind them. Dodgers, Rockies were just not that really good here. Go to the thing here. No, they were not wearing the candy corn unis in 99. They dumped them. They had a new logo and everything. They were not wearing the rainbow stripe uniforms there. They dumped those a number of years back, as a matter of fact. 99, they were not wearing that uniform. The Yankees now had first place, and here in this is month of June. Yankees, Red Sox, Baltimore actually was pretty good. They were 45-33, followed by Tampa Bay and Toronto. The Cleveland Indians suddenly shot up the ladder in the American League Central. They went from 29-22 to 49-29. The Indians were really strong in the month of June. White Sox still behind them. There were 5 games back there. Minnesota, Detroit, Minnesota, then Kansas City. American League West, Oakland took over first place in that division. The Rangers behind them. Seattle and Anaheim, these guys were pretty much already done by June. The Mariners were 19 games under 500. The Angels were 18 under 500. In the catch to Mets just could not catch the Braves. No matter what they did, I got so frustrated with FastScore. Mets would just not catch them. When the Mets won, the Braves won. When the Braves lost, the Mets lost. It was frustrating to roll those dice. Here's the Astros just taking control. After June, they were 57-22. They already had a 15-win lead on the Pirates. This 1999 Astros team will go ahead and go down as one of the best teams ever played on the network. I think I could pretty much rank them up there with the 69 Baltimore Orioles, who also had the best record with 110 some odd wins, and they won the World Series in my 69 replay. National League West, Arizona holding off against the Giants. This was a bit of a log jam. At one point, the Dodgers and the Padres were still trying to catch Arizona. Rockies just weren't good. In the month of July, The Boston Red Sox and the Yankees were now neck and neck in the American League American League East. Baltimore was still right with them. Now Tampa Bay started to fall. Tampa Bay at one point was 7 games above 500. Now they're 49 and 56. Suddenly the Devil Rays just started falling apart. Actually, it was the month of June here, as I said, the month of June, as Tampa Bay started 30 and 23. At the end of the month, 38 and 41. That's how the FastScore treated them in the month of June. So, in the month of July, Cleveland is now having good control over the White Sox in the American League Central. Detroit tried to make a run, but they were just way too far back. Texas and Oakland neck and neck in the American League West. In the National League, again, the Braves now have a 4-game lead on the Mets. 67 and 43. They're 4-game lead on the Mets. The Phillies were 1 game under 500. The Astros are 74 and 32. They just dominated. They just got all pretty much the roles here in for the Astros. They were just getting everything. The Pirates were right there too. They were not going to catch the Astros. This was going to be a match to see who could get second. At one point, the Cardinals were getting up there. They were in third place after the month of July, but they would fall. Milwaukee also fell. The Cubs were not good, neither were, and the Reds. The Reds were the most disappointing team in FastScore. Cincinnati, should have probably made the postseason. The Reds had a very good, had a winning record and would have made the postseason, if I was just taking the normal standings from 99. But they got some horrible rolls from FastScore. They got horrible rolls. The Cincinnati Reds was every season, I always seem to have an outlier. A team that should make the playoffs but doesn't. A team that shouldn't make the playoffs and does. So the Reds this year, the 1999 Reds were definitely the outlier for this year. Arizona still holding San Francisco off right now. The Dodgers are still trying to catch the Giants here, and they would continue to stay a game back here. Month of August, the Yankees now took control of the American League East. It was now a battle for second between Boston and Baltimore. The Orioles were 7 back here. Cleveland still holds the American League Central. The White Sox now the Chicago White Sox, historically, they finished under 500. The White Sox would not have made the postseason if I just took the historical standings. But the White Sox, they were a bit of an outlier in the American League. Minnesota had a very rough month. They went from 42 and 61 to 47 and 83. They couldn't win a ball game. They couldn't get rolls. Oakland and the Rangers. Oakland 74 had a 3-win lead on the Rangers. Anaheim and Texas still bringing it back. Atlanta fully takes control of the National League East. The Mets really couldn't get to them. The Braves at 85 wins. The Mets at 76 wins. The Phillies actually were above 500. They were 67 and 44. They weren't going to catch the Mets, though, for second. The Astros cooled off a little bit, but they were still 91 and 43. The Pirates playing for second, and the Cardinals had a rough month. They went from 52 and 53 to 61 and 72, a rough month for them. The Reds, same thing, were way up. The Reds really just didn't have enough time. The Cubs had a pretty good month, 43 and 59 to 63 and 68. They got to at least 5 games under 500, but that was just a different month for the Cubs. Diamondbacks, they were going to win this. They're going to win the National League West. They have a very good lead on the Giants, an 11-game lead on them. So it's between now the Dodgers and the Giants. At one point, both San Francisco and the Dodgers were under 500. For a minute there, I thought I was only going to have 5 teams come out of the National League for the postseason. And in the month of September, the Yankees will clinch. Red Sox Red Sox are still right behind them. Baltimore pretty much done. Difficult for Toronto and Tampa Bay. Cleveland will clinch the American League Central. White Sox holding on for dear life, 79 and 76. Holding on for dear life here. Oakland and Texas neck and neck for the American League West title. That's huge because if you win the division, you don't have to play the wild card series. You go straight to the division series and you take your chances there. So whoever loses has to play at least 1 or 2 games to get to the divisional round. Braves had a 6-game lead on the Mets. Phillies, they would fall back under 500. Astros, 107 wins, 50 losses. They were the number one. They clinched the number 1 seed overall here. Pirates were at 86 wins and 68. Pirates would get in. The Pirates are now chasing the Mets for a home field advantage game. Okay. Home field advantage game for the wild card. So now the Reds starting to make a move. The Reds here in September went from 59 and 72 to 79 and 77. The Reds suddenly went on a tear. They were not losing anything. I thought the Reds just had to get above 500 and they would have made it in. They were 2 games above 500 here. They were still chasing. They had to chase the Pirates though. They wouldn't. Well, the Reds wouldn't have to actually catch the Pirates, but the Reds actually made it interesting. But you got to get above 500, and you got to be in the top 2 in each division to go get there. So maybe they could hopefully catch the Pirates. San Francisco went on a tear. They went from 64 and 68 to 81 and 75. So the Giants, literally, because the Giants got in, is the reason why my Mets were kicked out, because my Mets can't beat the Giants in the postseason no matter what. Dodgers, with their 81st loss, they were eliminated. Then we had the final week. And the final week of the season has the Yankees, Boston, Baltimore finishing under 500, believe it or not. Toronto was in 4th, Tampa Bay's in 5th. Cleveland wins the American League Central. White Sox do get in, 84 and 78. So that was a team that would not have made the postseason historically, but they would do it here. Followed by Detroit, Kansas City, Minnesota. The Texas Rangers, by the skin of their teeth, win the American League West, which will move Oakland down to 2nd place. And that means Oakland had to go ahead and do Oakland would have to go ahead and play in the wild card series. And then, of course, Seattle and Anaheim bring up the rear. The Braves, of course, won the National League East. The Mets would hold off, would get in the postseason. They would hold off the Pirates. So the Mets would be the 4 seed here. Philadelphia actually finished above 500. They went on a tear here, 82 and 80. Montreal and Marlins bring up the rear. Astros, 110 wins, 52 losses. They will go down as one of the greatest teams in the network history. Pirates would get in. The Reds would finish 82 and 80. So they actually finished above 500, but they way underachieved. But the Reds would be the outlier for 99, followed by the Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers. Arizona would win the National League West. San Francisco would get in there. Dodgers, Padres, and Rockies do not get in. So that is how the standings would go for 1999. Let's now take a look at the games. And let's find out. Now we go through and choose our game of the week here. So, game of the year. Padres beat the Rockies opening day on April 4th. So 3-1. Let's see. Boston over Kansas City. Atlanta beat Arizona. Had this a game of the year. Let's see why. Because Arizona got a run in the top of the 9th inning, and then the Braves got a run in the bottom of the 9th inning to win it. So we gave it a game of the year. Okay, that's not bad, but we'll mark that in there. Remember, candidates. I'll always cross out who I don't think will be will get it. Astros over Giants, 4-2. Mets beat the Expos 8-5. Here's a game. Yeah, this one was crazy. Cardinals and the Brewers. Cardinals won this game 14-12. And this was a crazy game. I'm going to give this a check. This was a crazy game. Both teams, the Cardinals scored 11 runs in the top of the sixth inning. This is crazy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Scored 11 runs in the top of the sixth. And they had a 14 to, what was it, 14-5. Then the Brewers got 1, and they scored 5 in the bottom of the ninth. Just could not come back. This gets a check mark as a possible game of the year. This was a crazy game, 14-12. That definitely gets a game of the year nod. Anaheim and Toronto, this went into extras. Toronto won at 10-8, game of the year. The Anaheim Angels got a run in the 12th. Anaheim got 3 runs in the top of the ninth, and they had the lead. Then the Blue Jays got a run in the bottom of the ninth to send into extras. A big area here on the Blue Jays. And then they went 1-1-1-3. This game gets a nod as a possible game of the year. And remember, we're using ghost runners here in the regular season. So this was a home run by Fletcher. Fletcher went ahead with the Blue Jays. Went ahead and hit a bomb. And that went ahead and did it to go ahead and bring in the ghost runner and the other two. So that's definitely a game of the year shot. Boston and Cleveland, the Red Sox shut out the Indians 2-0. Pedro Martinez had 15 strikeouts in this game. That definitely qualified as a game of the year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He had 15 strikeouts. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was the most I've ever had. And that I'll give that a nod. Give that a shot. Yankees shut the Rangers out 11-0 the next night. Minnesota, Baltimore 8-1. Cincinnati, Arizona 3-1. Oakland, Chicago 12-5. I know you don't like ghosties, but unfortunately, I have to use ghosties because I can't be playing regular season games going into 18 innings. Sorry, we're not doing that. Someone, unlike you, sir, has to get up and go to work the next day. Dodgers beat the Cubs. Anaheim beat the Yankees 5-4. Why was this a game of the year? I marked it here. Why was this a game of the year? Home run here. Extras, each inning starts with bases loaded and further batter starts with a 3-0 count. Let's see. 1, single. Why did I mark this a game with you? Was there something special about the game? I'm trying to see. Triple. Whatever it was, I'm going to mark it. I don't see it. Should write shit down. Mets beat the Phillies 7-2 in a game in May. Detroit beat Detroit. This went to extra innings. The Tigers got one in the top of the 10th. Toronto got one in the bottom of the 10th. And the Tigers got one in the 11th. They would go ahead and the Tigers would win this game. Good matchup, I think, but we'll cross that. Pittsburgh over the Marlins 9-2. Yankees over Boston 3-2. Seattle over Tampa Bay 7-6. Colorado over Atlanta 8-3. San Francisco over Philadelphia 2-1. Yeah, but you watch and get just as tired. Yeah, but you don't have to get up in the next day. So I don't want to hear it. Yankees over Mets 11-7. This was a crazy one. This was a crazy game for this one here. I think Bernie Williams almost had a cycle. I don't know if I think I had something. I think somebody got the cycle this year. I don't remember. I don't see it so far. This was a crazy game between the Mets and the Yankees during interleague play. By the looks of it. Oh yeah, Benny Agbayani hit a grand slam home run here, and the Mets still lose. So the Mets get 5 runs in the top of the 4th, and the Yankees got 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th. So that's what happens when you don't have pitching. I was up. That game did not. I remember that game now. That game was not really that fun to play, at least, as a Mets fan. Red Sox beat the Expos 6-5. This went into 11. Yeah, so this went to extras. The Red Sox scored 3 in the top of the 11th. Montreal got 2 in the bottom of the 11th, and it just came out a little short. So the Red Sox got this here. Not too bad. Not a bad game, but looks, I'll cross that, though. Let's see. San Diego beat Houston. White Sox over Tampa Bay. Cleveland over Seattle. Arizona blew the Reds out 12-2. Kansas City over Detroit 4-1. Milwaukee over Pittsburgh. Toronto over Baltimore. Anaheim over Oakland. We had some pretty decent baseball games around this time of the year, but nothing stands out. White Sox blew the Cubs up 13-3 in an interleague matchup. We had the All-Star game. American League beat the National League 4-2 in the All-Star game. Dodgers beat Anaheim 9-3. Cardinals over Twins 5-4. Some more interleague play. Anaheim over Texas 8-7. Dodgers over Diamondbacks 4-2. White Sox over Yankees 5-1. Philadelphia over Atlanta 8-5. Cleveland beat Boston 10-7. And why was this a game of the year? We had 2 home runs back to back. 2 homers back to back. 10-7. They had 29 hits in this game. Probably the reason why you had 29 hits. Pitching took the night off between Dwight Gooden and Pat Rapp. So that was kind of interesting. Dodgers over Houston 6-5. Dodgers got one in the top of the 10th inning. Let's see here. A couple of home runs, walks, something like that. A lot of strikeouts in the game. Oakland beat the White Sox 4-0. Houston over Atlanta 4-1. San Francisco beat the Mets 9-4. Not surprised because the Mets would not really beat the Giants. Texas over Cleveland 12-1, blew them up. Arizona over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beat them 6-5. Yeah, Arizona got a run in the top of the ninth. Pittsburgh got 2 on the bottom of the ninth to send it into extras, and then the Pirates won it on a double in the bottom of the 10th inning. Not a bad game, but not bad. Texas over the Yankees 10-8. Crazy matchup there. Tampa Bay beat the White Sox 9-4. Detroit beat Baltimore 4-2. That went into extras. A 2-run bomb by Clark for the Tigers. Won it in the bottom of the 11th inning. Game of the year. I'm trying to see why. And the 19 hits, but okay. But now, mark that off. Astros beat the Mets 3-0. And Cleveland over Baltimore 8-3. We're now in September. Boston beat Oakland 6-4. San Francisco over Atlanta 5-3. And that was it for this book. So then I had to go to a new one. Trust me, I got plenty of these guys. I got enough notebooks to do another 15, 20 more seasons. Houston. Let's get back to the start. Not Houston. Let's get back to here. I did some inside pitch demo games. And then we go on with Pittsburgh at Arizona. Why was this Finley had 2 home runs that game. Durazo had a bomb. Yankees beat Cleveland 7-4. Philadelphia beat the Mets 8-7 in a tough game. The Mets just really I spare no forest. San Francisco beat the Dodgers 11-3. And then we get into the final week. Texas over Oakland. The White Sox beat Minnesota 2-0. Actually, they gave up 2 hits. I thought 2 hits. I still have not had a no-hitter in inside pitch. Cycles galore, but no hitter. I still have not had a no-hitter in inside pitch. I've only had 1 no-hitter, and of course, Steeler fan is very aware of that. That Steeler fan's favorite game of all time is the no-hitter, that I rolled, All right, with Mr. Bill again between the Giants and the Astros. Okay, so Steeler fan is very happy with my no hitter that Bill Swift. Remember, Bill no hitter Swift is Steeler fans' favorite player of all time. Okay, he loves Bill Swift. Okay, he loves him. San Francisco beat the Dodgers 11-8. This may be the crazy game here. Atlanta and the Mets. This may just be. I try to keep them clean. I don't go all over the place. There's only certain things I track. Remember, I don't keep all stats. This was the craziest game, I think, of the year. Atlanta and the Mets, 15-11, 26 hits, 3 errors. The Braves started with 5 runs in the top of the first. Mets got 8 in the bottom of the first. Then the Braves got 5, 1, 1, 2, and then that's going to get a double check. There were 8 home runs in this game. There were 8 home runs in this ball game at Shea Stadium, and Shea Stadium in '99 was supposed to be a pitcher's park. According to the ballpark card, it was a pitcher's park. There were 8 home runs hit in this game. This could very well be. This could probably. This will probably be the. This got a good chance. I'm going to give that a double check mark. Yankees beat Baltimore 8-5. And then the Mets beat the Pirates, which pretty much eliminated Pittsburgh from any chance of catching the Mets for the number 4 seed. And that's why the Mets would be the 4. And then we had a game between Texas and Anaheim. This game was decided to see if the Rangers could clinch a division, but they couldn't. Anaheim beat the Rangers that game 5-3. Then St. Louis. Then our final game of the year, closing day. The teams are already selected, and seeding was already done. So we just chose a game to end the season with, and we chose a game between the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Cardinals won the game 4-3, and it was actually pretty fun to play for closing day. Both the Cardinals and the Cubs were out. So then we get into the playoffs. National League Wild Card Series Game 1, San Francisco at Pittsburgh. The Giants would knock the Pirates out 7-3. They would move on. This was one of the first times in a while where I actually had a full 12-team playoff. Remember, if you don't have a winning record, you do not get into the postseason. However, I still have to have a minimum of 4. So if you are the 4 seed and you have a losing record, you're still going to get in because I have to have at least 4 teams. I have to have at least a division series round. American League Wild Card Series Game 1, the White Sox beat Oakland 6-5 in a pretty good matchup there. Then, of course, the San Francisco Giants play the New York Mets, National League Wild Card Series Game 2. And again, it's a home run that kills the Mets. It always seems to be in a game that the Mets absolutely have to win in the postseason. It's someone from the other team that hits a home run that kills it. This year, 1999, it was Jeff Kent. I believe in 1972, I believe it was Bobby Bonds who hit a big bomb that knocked the Mets out. I think they were in it. In the 2016 season, somebody hit a home run in the 2016 Wild Card Series against the Mets. The Mets have never beaten the Giants in the playoffs in any round. As a matter of fact, the Mets have never won a playoff series in any round, whether wild card or division. That's why I think it's rigged, because Chris Davis hates the Mets. But other than that, but the Giants move on. The Mets go home. Boston beats the White Sox, Game 2 of the ALWS, and it's 5-1. They move on. Now we move on to the division series. Cleveland. I tell you, I thought the Indians would knock the Rangers out. I thought the Indians had a better team. I was kind of disappointed that Texas knocked the Indians out. I was surprised at how that went. I mean, the Indians won Game 1 against the Rangers 5-3. Arizona beat the Braves 5-4. I thought maybe Atlanta may not beat Arizona. All right, but the thing is they couldn't get to Randy Johnson again. The Yankees beat Boston 3-2. And then San Francisco beat Houston 8-1. I thought I mean Kirk Reeder beat Mike Hampton. I mean San Francisco was awesome. I didn't think the Astros. I thought, okay, are the Astros going to lose to the Giants? Next one, Texas beats Cleveland 7-5. They come back. Atlanta beats Arizona in game 2. The Yankees beat Boston 6-3. Houston beats San Francisco 4-1 to tie that series up. Lima Time does a good job. Game 3s, Texas 9-2 over Cleveland. Charles Nagy lost to John Burkett. Texas just destroyed Cleveland pitching in that game. Atlanta beats Arizona on the road 9-4. They had 25 hits in that game. Smoltz got the win. And then the Yankees swept the Red Sox out. So the Yankees, the actual World Series winners of 99, swept Boston. I said, okay, looks like the Yankees are probably, the way they're playing, the way they're rolling, they should go ahead and maybe get to the World Series. And then Houston destroys the Giants 14-6 in game 3 of that series at 3Com Park. And they just obliterated him. 5 runs in the second, 5 runs in the 7th. Just not a good game. And then we go to game 4s. Texas beats Cleveland again 9-4. Eliminates the Indians. As I said, very surprising. Rafael Palmeiro was already 6. He already had 3 home runs at this stage. Rafael Palmeiro. And Atlanta beats Arizona 4-3, knocks them out. And then Houston knocks out San Francisco in a big pitcher's duel between Chris Holt and Sean Estes, and a pitcher's duel between Houston and San Francisco. But Chris Holt only gave up, there was only 1 hit given up. Chris Holt, I thought I was going to get it. I thought I had a shot at a no-hitter. And then only Barry Bonds got a triple. And that was the only reason why. That was a 1-hitter. Okay, that was a 1-hitter given up by Chris Holt, and then yanked him out and let Miller and Wagner finish it off. But that was a 1-hitter until Barry Bonds got the triple. I was very disappointed in that. I thought I was going to get my first no-hitter. Yankees beat the Rangers 5-4, and I said, okay, so this is how it's going to go. So we now move on to the championship series round. So Texas and the Yankees, and of course Atlanta and the Astros. Atlanta and the Yankees are both, of course, were the actual 99 World Series participants. Atlanta beat Houston in first game, Maddox over Hampton. And then the Yankees beat the Rangers again 5-4. 5-4 in game 2. Game of the year candidate here. It went into extra innings. The Yankees scored 2 in the top of the 8th. The Rangers got 2 in the top of the 9th. Okay, by Clayton, Roberto Kelly, and then McLemore got a hit. It's a good game, but And then the Astros beat the Braves 2-0. They shut them out. And I said, okay, the Yankees have a 2-0 lead on the Rangers. It looks like the Yankees are going to go to another World Series. And the Rangers said, not so fast, my friend. As the Rangers went ahead and destroyed the Yankees 11-3 in game 3 of this series. The Astros, what a pitcher's duel this was. Astros and the Braves 1-0. Shane Reynolds against John Smoltz. The Astros do get the win here in a big-time pitcher's duel in this NLCS. It was close. The Braves did have a runner on base. And then there's this one here. Rangers 20, Yankees 7. Rafael Palmeiro with 3 home runs. I didn't mark it as a game of the year candidate. With 3 home runs in that ball game. He was 3 for 4. I'm sorry, no, he was 4 for 5. He had 3 home runs, Palmeiro, 20-7. Let's see. The Rangers had 1, 2. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 21 hits, so 35 hits. I'm going to give this a double check mark. It's got a shot. Rangers all over the Yankees 20-7. But the thing is that they just showed offensive firepower by the Rangers And because there was the Yankees were already thinking about Game 5. And the Braves beat the Astros 5-2 to keep that series going. And then the Rangers beat the Yankees again 6-4. So the Rangers hadn't lost the game at home at all during this postseason run. And so they went ahead and got that win. David, good to see you, David Vega. And then, of course, the Astros destroyed the Rangers 10-0 at Braves, 10-0 in Game 5. Mike Hampton he only gave up. He had a 2-hitter, Mike Hampton. It just showed how good Astros pitching was in this postseason. It definitely was a pitcher. A great job by Hampton. 10-0. Just what a great job there. And then the Rangers had to go back to the Yankees. I thought the Yankees were going to clear this, but nope. The Rangers got out to a quick start and defeated the Yankees 8-2 to go to their first World Series on the network. If you'd have told me the Texas Rangers would have knocked out the Yankees to go to the World Series, I wouldn't have believed you at the start of the year. And then the Astros go ahead and beat the Braves 4-2. That was not surprising. I knew how good the Astros were by how I was rolling with them and everything. So that was definitely, I knew the Astros could beat Atlanta the way they were rolling. So, yeah, that was not surprising. The Rangers beating the Yankees was a surprise. The Astros beating the Braves wasn't. Then we get to the World Series. Astros beat the Rangers 5-1 in Game 1, 6-2 Game 2. This was the key game of the series, was Game 3. The Rangers have a 6-5 lead going into the top of the ninth. And I go ahead and bring in John Wetland to try to get the save here to make this a 2-1 series lead. And got his fly out, a strikeout, and then Craig Biggio, with 2 outs, hits a solo bomb in the top of the ninth to tie the series up. We go into extras, and then the Astros win it, get 2 runs in the 11th, and make this 8-6. And they take it a 3-0 series lead. This is definitely a game of the year. But I'm only going to give it 1 check mark. The reason why is even though this game was huge, even though if the Rangers had won this game, they would still have lost Game 4 5-1. And I don't think the Rangers would have beaten the Astros. I don't think the Rangers would have rolled any better back at the Astrodome the way they were working. So I think if it wasn't for this would have been a gentleman's sweep. I don't think the Rangers would have won this. They still would have lost Game 3 5-1. So I might have made a few different decisions, down 2-1 instead of 3-0 for the Rangers, but I don't think it would have mattered. The Astros were the better team, and so if the Rangers had come back and won the series, I probably would give this game more credit because this was the turn of the tide. All it did was all this game did was accelerate the inevitable. At the Astros are going to win the series, and they did. So now we got to choose. So that's all the games we played. Now we got to choose. Now we got to choose a game of the year. So now I'm going to go back through here real fast and find the games with 2 check marks. And let's see. The Yankees, Texas. This was a great game, yes, but this was just a blowout, 20-7. This was just a blowout. It really was. I mean, yeah, they got 20 runs, 21 hits. All right. But that was just a beatdown. And even though that is a lot right there, I'm going to say no. Let's see. Go back here a little bit. Go back here. Let's see here. See if there were any others real fast. All right, Atlanta and the Mets. There was one other game, I think, and that was the other 2 checker, I believe. Because I think, let me see if I can find that real fast. The other two checker. Let's see here. I know it's in here someplace. Let's see here. I'll find it. I should do a better job marking this crap. It was early. I think it was earlier in the year. I think we started with opening day, right? Let's see. St. Louis, Milwaukee, 14-12. I mean, that was a heck of a game too. But and 11 runs in the sixth. But it's a good inning, but not a good game. So it was just a high scoring matchup. So I think that's it. Just check and make sure. I think that's it. Let's see here. That's Yankees was pretty good, but nah. And okay. Well, my choice for game of the year. Oh yeah, I keep my notebooks. I have every notebook. I have every game written down. I have every notebook I've done. So if I need to find a game, I can. Unfortunately, some of the games are not as well organized as I really would like them to be. But they're not as well organized as I like them to be. So I'm thinking it was the game. I'm really thinking it was the Mets and the Braves. I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be the. I think that's going to be it. So yes, I keep all my notebooks. I have them all up here. I keep everything. I never throw anything away, even logos that you see what I put here. I keep all the logos as well. I do not toss them. You never know when I might need them again for something. Well, there's only one game I can think of, and that's going to be it. My choice for game of the year, September 29th, 1999, the Atlanta Braves versus the New York Mets. 15-11. The Braves scored 5. Mets got 8. Braves got another 5. Mets got 1, 1, 0, 2, 2. There were 8 total home runs in this game. There was Brian Hunter, Jordan, Boone. Hunter had 2 of them. Alfonso, Ventura, Olerud, Ventura again. This has got to be my choice. So my choice for game of the year is a game between the Atlanta Braves and New York Mets, a 15-11 matchup, 26 hits, 3 runs. Both teams had their chance. The Braves got out to a 5-0 lead, and the Mets had 8 runs. You see, this was the longest inning I think I ever did. 8 batters came to the plate in the top of the first, and 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 batters came to the plate for the Mets in the bottom of the first. That's got to be the greatest inning I probably ever rolled. The greatest inning of all time I probably ever rolled here on the network. So this is going to be my choice. So my choice, game of the year, I'll find this game and I'll put it in my game of the year playlist. 9/29/99, the Atlanta Braves against the New York Mets. I know this game lasted a while too. A 15-11 win for the Braves, and of course it's against my Mets, but that's what it is. It is what it is. That is my choice for game of the year. So that is our game of the year choice. And I hereby officially close the 1999 season. Now it is time to find out what season will be next. As you know, all 4 seasons get chosen So here are the final tallies for the selection on the network. And it will be final choices are 83 votes. In first place, 1980 is in first place. It got the most votes. Second place, with the second most votes, was 1963. Got the second most votes. In third place, receiving the third most votes, 1945. And in fourth place, not surprising, although some people did want me to roll this season, and maybe one day I will, in fourth place, 2020. So those are your selections. And now it is time to see. We are time for the roll-off. So everyone buckle down. It is time to roll some dice. And we're not going to do it. We are not going to roll any dice. For those of you in the chat that are waiting to hear this, everyone, I want you to listen closely. I have done many selection shows. Never in the history of the selection process has one season dominated the other three. There's never been a season that has dominated the other three in any selection. I went ahead and I looked over everything and I said 1980 had 55% of the vote, which means more than half of you guys out there wanted me to roll 1980. It was a little bit, I thought about this and said if there was anybody that was kind of close. I mean, if like 1980 had 30% or 35% and 1963 had like 32% or someone, that would actually kind of make it a little bit, I kind of think it would kind of make it a little bit redundant. And at one point, 1980 had 59% of the vote. Okay, had 59% of the vote. Nowhere of 1945, 1963, 2020, or none of these other seasons came close. None of these other seasons came close at all. So I went ahead and looked over everything, and I said, Robert, you could go ahead and roll dice, but more than half your voters, Robert, want 1980. Now remember, this is not just 1980 and inside pitch. This is 1980 and inside pitch advanced. This would be a season that Chris has to create for me before I start the next season. He'll have 2 months to do it. Now, of course, I have all these seasons except 1945 in regular inside pitch. So, because of a massive majority and because one season dominated all the others, if it was close between 2 or 3, I'd roll, but it wasn't even close. 2020, no, wasn't even close. 1945, no, wasn't even close. I was very surprised 1963 didn't get that many votes. I thought a lot of people would want to see Sandy Koufax, Willie Mays again, Hank Aaron, Don Drysdale, Frank Robinson. I thought 1963 was going to get a lot more votes. I was really surprised that 1963 wasn't close. And it wasn't. 1980, okay, 1980 had 55% of the vote. 1963 had 19% of the vote. That is a huge, that was huge. So 2020 had 10%, 1945 had 16%, 1963 had 19%. 1980 had 55%. So, because of the majority, and because I really think since one season dominated all three, I will not be rolling dice for the next season. I will go with the majority. Therefore, your next season of Inside Pitch starting January 5th, 2020 will be 1980. That will be your next season of Inside Pitch. So 1980 will be the next season. I will not roll dice. No dice rolls this year, or no dice rolls in this election, in this season review and reveal show. And for those of you wondering, I had already told Chris, I had already told Chris, the creator of Inside Pitch, to already start working on 1980 days ago. I had already decided that even though I was telling you guys to vote, and get your votes in there, I already decided, unless 1980 fell below 45%, I would have made a change. I probably would have rolled the dice. But I knew the way things were going, 1980 was not going to drop that far. Everybody wants 1980 on this channel for the next replay, and that's what you're going to get. So 1980 will be the next season of Inside Pitch. It'll be the first season of Inside Pitch Advanced. If he cannot get 1980 done before I start, I will start 1980 in regular Inside Pitch. And then when I get the advanced version of Inside Pitch, I will then switch it into that. He says he should be able to get this created, and it happens to be Chris Davis's favorite year. He loves 1980 because of, Steeler fans, Houston Astros. He loves J.R. Richard. I'm pretty sure a Steeler fan always has a soft spot for J.R. Richard in his heart as an Astros fan. So he loved J.R. Richard. So he will go ahead and he'll create 1980 for me, and hopefully he'll have it ready by at least the demo game. The demo game, however, is December 29th. December 29th will be the demo game for 1980. We will be at Veterans Stadium. The Kansas City Royals will take on the Philadelphia Phillies. That is the two World Series teams that met in 1980, with the Phillies winning it, so they get the home field in the demo game. So that will be the Royals taking on the Phillies in 1980 for that. And the All-Star game in 1980 was held at Dodger Stadium. We will have the All-Star game as well. There are, of course, two divisions in each league. Top three teams in each division will make the postseason. Must have winning records. Or they will not make it. So of course the division winners get in, and the number one, second place team automatically get to the division series. So seeds 4, 5, and 6 will have to face in a wild card series. Of course, that is if we get them in there. So that is going to be it on that. So there you have it. 1980 will be the next season of Inside Pitch here on the network. And, of course, I got to give you the opening day game, which, of course, I already have. And opening day will be January 5th, 2026. And the actual date of the opening day game was April 9th, 1980. And we will be starting at Riverfront Stadium as the Atlanta Braves will take on the Cincinnati Reds. Phil Niekro will be going for the Braves, and Frank Pastore will be going for the Reds. That will be the opening day game of the 1980 season. That will be January 5th, 2026. Which was April 9th, 1980. The Braves and the Reds will start off the 1980 season. Phil Niekro, Hall of Famer, against, of course, Frank Pastore. We will see Chris Chambliss, Dale Murphy, George Foster, Johnny Bench, the usual suspects for the year of 1980. That is your opening day game, of course, There was another game. It was the Toronto Blue Jays against the Seattle Mariners on that same date of 1980. I didn't like the pitching matchup, so I've decided that the Braves and the Reds would make the opening day start. There you go, guys. The 1999 season is officially closed. I am now officially in my off season. 1980 will begin on January 5th, 2026 with the Braves and the Reds. And that will be the next season of Inside Pitch or, of course, Inside Pitch Advanced. Tomorrow night, guys, I'm going to do a State of the Network address. I'm going to do a State of the Network address tomorrow night where you guys can just talk to me about anything. This, of course, was just a season review and reveal show. Tomorrow night, I'll do a State of the Network address. Me, of course, you guys know I usually do that after I'm done with these things. So you guys can talk to me about anything you like, what you like to see, what you like, what you didn't like, anything, I am going to, of course, I'm in my off season. I'm going to tell you right now, the first week of my off season, I usually do not stream. I give the voice a rest. But I will be doing some streaming. I'll do, of course, some hockey, some card games that I've been doing, try to get other stuff on there. I know you guys are usually not interested in it, but that's okay. I just like to get other stuff on the desk once in a while and stuff. So tomorrow night, I'll do a State of the Network address. Be there or be square. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out the turnstiles. Subscribe if you're not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for the State of the Network address. 1999 is closed. 1980 will be opening soon. See you guys tomorrow night.